Hi everyone, it's Kathy. As you probably gathered by now, I wasn't do any more Nancy Guthrie's videos today or reactions to videos. But then just as I was scrolling through YouTube to find something different to do a story about, I came across this guy, Scott Rouse. He's a body language person that can pick up on people's languages from the way they move and what they do and things. And I like what he calls the kidnapper. He calls him a moron, which I guess he is really. But we'll start this one off for you anyway.
Video of Nancy Guthrie's suspected kidnapper raises more questions than it answers. Now, what do you think the behavior cues in this video tell us? Personally, I think he's a moron, and I talk about that in this news hit. Even though normal robbers don't have that fear of being recognized, for some reason this guy's trying to hide his face as well with that thing. Then this is a guy, this is a man. How do we know that? Because of the way he walks, the way he moves around. Women don't move like that. No, they don't. And then also, what's missing are threat checks. He's not doing threat checks. He's not looking around for trouble. He's not looking for passing cars, joggers, dog walkers. He doesn't look for threats outside of that porch. And the only time he looks for a threat is when he steps out and picks up those flowers or weeds or whatever they are, and he steps up to put them over the camera. Which brings us to how smart he isn't, because he's not a problem solver. If he'd thought ahead of time, he would have thought there might be a camera there, or he may have known there was a camera there. I need to bring a piece of duct tape to stick over that. So he didn't think ahead. So I'm under the impression he didn't think ahead about some other little things ahead of time that he didn't solve those problems. So there's probably a lot of stuff he left behind there as well. Plus the fact the backpack is full. That thing is full. So that could be a tarp. It could be extra clothes. Something he could change clothes when he gets in so it doesn't look like the same person came as the same person leaving. There could be duct tape, zip ties. And since he's alone, and we know he's alone because he doesn't check anybody, doesn't nod or wave his hand at anybody out in the driveway or the yard or anything around the street, he's going to have something to put the incapacitated person in. I'll phrase it that way. It's one thing if you throw somebody over your shoulder and you walk them out to the car, or if you drag them by their arms out of the car. But if you can wrap them in something, if you can wrap them in a tarp or a huge blanket, that looks different. You're pulling something to the car instead of a body.
Does it seem to you, after everything we're saying, this is not somebody who's a career criminal or professional, that there's a sloppy aspect to this?
Yeah, because let's go to that holster again, like what Steve's talking about. You can't drive with that. You can't run with that. You can't fight with it like that. You can't draw proficiently like that. You get out fairly quickly, but you can't. People usually gun enthusiasts, they don't have that happening, And if we look at his blink rate on this, we can see his blink rate when he gets close to the camera because those bright lights in his eyes are his pupils. That's the light from the camera reflecting off his pupils. There's not a lot of blinking going on. This guy is super relaxed. There's no stress here. That's concerning. I don't think we're looking at a psychopath from the neurological point, but the stress in a situation that should be stressful is very low. He's not worried about anything, which gives me the impression he's got information about that place or that situation, or something has been planned to make sure that he's not worried. He's not worried. He doesn't look at anything to me.
Scott, the two pair of your thoughts on that as we're looking at this video?
Well, I'm under the impression that he's wearing, it sounds crazy, two pairs of gloves. Look how fat his fingers are. Look how fat this part of his hand is, and the ball part of his hand. There's too much going on there. It looks to me like two pairs of gloves.
This is an excellent analysis.
All right, if you have it.
Right, so that was his bit on the body language of the kidnapper. Like I always say, I really hope they find Nancy. Personally, I don't think she's on this earth anymore. I think she passed days after she was kidnapped. But it would be really nice if she was found, and she was found alive. That's all I've got to do for the now. Any more Nancy Guthrie ones today, but it all depends what happens. I can see this story about Nancy by the end of the year being the biggest story there was out there, because this has just blown up all over YouTube and on the news. I even had it the other day on my BBC News on the news, and I'm in the UK, and they were talking about it then. And so that just goes to show you how popular this story is and how everybody is behind the Savannah and her family. that we just want Nancy found. They seem to be doing little steps each day, you know, trying this and trying that, but there's no positive outcomes at the moment, you know. Like they tested the glove that they said was the kidnapper's glove, and it proved to wasn't related to him at all. I personally would like to see what her was, if the kidnapper had done any damage in there, you know, if there was any blood evidence in there. I believe there was DNA left behind of the kidnapper or an unknown male. So, you know, it depends where that DNA was found. You know, if it's anything to do with Nancy, it could have been like the pool guy that came in to take payment, or the garden maintenance man come in to get payment, or maybe just a friend popped in for a coffee. You never know. But it was believed that the kidnapper was in Nancy's home for quite some time. So it would really be interesting to know what he was doing, if he was waiting for her to wake up, or if there was an argument and then, you know, tackling between each other. Um, it, it's just mind boggling. It really is. This is one that needs to be solved, and we need it solved as soon as possible. Right. Thank you for watching. Please click like and subscribe. It will really help me to get out on the YouTube's algorithms. Because as you know, whenever you start a new channel, things are hard. You know, you'll start at the bottom level and you have to work your way up to the top. I need 100 subscribers. I forget how many thousand views it is on YouTube before you get to the next stage. But if you could click like and subscribe, and also in the comments, if you can put where you're from, because I'd like to know how far this video reaches people. And I will try and personally reply to everyone that sends a message in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.